Hey Virgo! Welcome to your June reading. This is TC, your guiding chariot. Oh, I have missed you guys. I'm so glad to be back. I hope you guys are doing well and staying safe and healthy during these crazy times. Our world is definitely in an interesting place. So, I'm glad to be back and I'm sending you guys love and light. Welcome back to this reading. This is going to be for Virgo, Sun, Moon, and Rising signs. I am filming this on the 6th, so we just had our lunar eclipse in Sagittarius yesterday, kicking off. Sorry about that, a little noisy, somebody driving by. We just kicked off eclipse season, so we had the lunar eclipse. Alright, yay, now he's gone. We had the lunar eclipse yesterday, we have a solar eclipse towards the end of the month, and then another lunar eclipse the beginning of July. So lots of karmic stuff coming up, big opportunity to finally close the chapter on some things in our life. A lot of us, relationship things can be coming up. So although this is the June reading, I really kind of wanted to do this focus more on eclipse season and what kind of energy is surrounding us. So a little different format. I'm going to pull 3 cards for what's kind of surrounding us physically, 3 cards for what's surrounding us emotionally, 3 cards surrounding us spiritually, and just kind of getting a nice temperature check for what this eclipse season is going to hold for us. All right. This also is a new deck I was gifted, which I'm actually super about. I love it. These cards are massive though, so if you see me fidgeting with them, it's just to make sure they all kind of fit on camera. Like I have big hands and they're freaking huge. Alright, so physically, what's going on? Alright, so 2 major arcanas right out the gate. So eclipse season definitely doing its magic on you. So beautiful. We start this reading with Starseed. So this is the Fool in this deck. So Virgo, whole new beginning, whole new start for you. It may feel a little leap of faithy. That's one thing I kind of always get with the Fool. And it's one thing I kind of love about the Fool, that it's just kind of on instinct and kind of trusting your gut. Like, this is the direction I want to go. This is what I've wanted to do. And you're just kind of allowing yourself to do it, right? There may even be this moment where you might be having a little self-discovery, because we have the Hangman coming out right after that. Hangman is a lot of... This is like the noisiest my street has ever been. It's like 11 o'clock and literally everyone's driving by right now. That's crazy. I don't know what's going on. But Hangman is a very strong internal journey. So there may be this type of need to kind of go within and kind of cut out all the distractions. And so when I say that, it's as I'm like, all these people making noise. But there may be this need to kind of cut out the external voices and the external influences and really figure out like what this new beginning really means to you. What are we doing in ways that are more authentic to us or to you, Virgo? And there's definitely going to be some decisions on really what that looks like and what, the rest of 2020 is going to look like for you. Everyone's kind of talking about the new normal, right? For you, this is actually a really personal discussion on what the new normal looks like. Last card out, we have the 2 of Orbs, which, all the 2s tend to have this level of a decision that needs to be made and a choice that needs to be kind of nailed down. The two of Orbs, which is, like the 2 of Swords, does speak to something coming out from the unseen. We don't... A lot of times this energy is almost like you've been blindfolded. Like it just kind of pops out of nowhere. Or there's information that's yet to be discovered. But that's why this Hangman is coming through. This energy is really about finding those solutions. But it's an internal journey. It's not done by asking questions. It's not done, at least not to other people, right? It's not about, comparing your story to others or seeing what others have done. It's really about finding what works for you, what makes you happy, where do you feel the most authentic and passionate and inspired, all right? Yeah, look at that. Perfect. Perfect. Just what we wanted to see. All right. So, mentally, what's going on? What are we thinking about? What our thoughts are being led by? So we have 7 of orbs. So you have the 2 of orbs, which would be like the 2 of swords down here. So 7 of orbs. This is about... It is about deception, but it's not... Someone's not lying to you. Someone's not trying to manipulate you or anything like that. This is really about, self-manipulation. This is a storyline that you've been telling yourself. And this could be, thoughts that you have been holding on to because you thought that's what should be done. Or someone told you this is the path you should be, and that's kind of what you did. And maybe that path served you at some point. But now it's a new day. Now we're in a new place. And it's really about evaluating how aligned is this with this new path you're creating, right? With this Fool card. You can even see the figure in this little air balloon, like we're dumping orbs. So some of these things don't matter anymore, right? Some of these things we don't need to carry. And that's exactly what this is for you. So there's this kind of energy. I don't want to say cleaning house, because it's not like decluttering, but it's really about identifying what really doesn't belong to you. Identifying what is just unnecessary weight, what's just holding you down, versus what's letting you fly. So there is this element about really finding your truth and what truly is yours. Then you have the 3 of crystals, which is all about teamwork and partnership. There sometimes is learning here, because there is, this kind of idea of like student and mentor. So there may be someone here that you can look up to, someone that helps to share a perspective, and honestly, I say that, and I don't necessarily think it's about sharing a perspective, but I think it inspires you, just seeing this person and how they live, how they carry themselves, how they interact, and I feel like it's something that you're like, there's an aspect of that I want in my life. I want my world to be filled with that same type of energy, or I'd like to be doing that same type of work. Maybe it's someone in the same kind of field or career. Look, now there's sirens going off. There are a bunch of distractions in your world, Virgo. Like, I don't even know. This is I'm not even kidding. Like, this is literally 11 o'clock, and it's so noisy just because I turned the camera on and started your reading. It's hilarious. So take this as a form of inspiration. Not necessarily someone sitting you down and like having a talk, but this is you finding inspiration through how someone you respect and someone you look up to, how they carry themselves and how they function and how they operate. Use that inspiration to help kind of discern what needs to go and what needs to stay. And that's where you find success. Here we have the Sun card, or solar deity, in this particular deck. This is success and optimism and energy. So again, this just tells me that there's a bright road ahead of you. This isn't a bad reading. I've been talking about these little discoveries and the shifts, but it's about this new beginning. And it's about aligning, because that's how you find your success. Doing the work that is valuable to you, not something that was told to you or given to you by someone else. Because then you're fulfilling someone else's dreams, and that's not what this life is about, right? I'm going to swap these massive giant cards. All right, so spiritually, let's see what's going on here. Ooh, interesting. Okay, so we got some things up here. So Seeker of Flames, this is beautiful. So Seekers are like the princesses or the pages in this deck. So Seeker of Flames, this is that spark. This is passionate. This is wanting to, light up the world, especially your world. This is a very passionate, impulsive, energetic, motivated energy. So I love to see that this is kind of in your spread, in your layout, because that tells me that you're ready. This is something that you're like, yeah, I am passionate about this. This is something I've been thinking about. This is something that I want. This is something I desire, to find something that's more authentically me, something that feels good, something that lights my soul, something that nourishes me, that like you can feel in your gut, in your na'au, like, oh, this makes me very happy. So this tells me you're ready for this journey. So again, beautiful that the Fool card is here, because you are signed up, you're ready for it, and I'm all for it. Then you have the Sage of Chalices. This is the Queen of Cups. So again, speaking to that emotional center, what feels good, what feels safe and supportive. I will say with this energy, and it's a positive energy, I'm not trying to like bring it down in any means, there is a caution with this particular queen because she's so deep. You know, the same way you are so deep, right? All this earth energy you have in you. Sometimes there's a hazard of going so far in the rabbit hole and then kind of getting stuck there and staying in there. And then you get a little hermity, right? And you're already kind of on this internal journey because we have the Hangman. And look at that, it's still right in the same column. So you're already on this internal journey. You know, to me, having the Sage of Chalices here talks about how deep the well really goes, right? So you want to go deep enough where you find, you know, enlightenment, and you find the solution, and you find the inspiration that we talked about here. That's the point where you want to stop, process it, you know, take what resonates and take, you know, what fuels this fire, and then you want to start coming back out and sharing that and practicing it and making it tangible, and, you know, using the practical application of it versus just the theory. Because if you get lost in the theory, you're going to be stuck here for far longer than you really need to be. And then the last card out, you have the Five of Orbs. This can be a tricky energy. You know, this can be kind of hard. You know, there's an element of feeling lost or feeling like you lost something. There's this energy of kind of overdoing it and pushing too far. A lot of times when I talk about the Five of Orbs or the Five of Swords, you know, in a traditional deck, it's kind of like victory at any cost. I actually was talking to a friend of mine, and this came up in a reading, and I'm just going to use this example, but it was kind of like I'm going to be super thin. If I do this crash diet and lose 20 pounds and die, I'm still going to do it because I want to lose these 20 pounds. Like, it's like I don't care what the cost is. I'm going to get my end goal. So there's a little bit of caution, and again, I think it's just echoing this idea of not going too far. We don't want to dig ourselves into this hole so deeply that we can't get back out. Because the whole point of this reading is, again, to have this new beginning here with this Star card, with this Fool card. We want to have this understanding, we want to have this enlightenment so that we can act on this passion and start something new. If we just sit and dwell on it and think about it and sit with it, you know, there may be opportunities lost because we didn't act. There may be opportunities lost because we were stuck in our shell and they just walked right by us, and we don't want that either, especially when we know that there's already success here with this solar deity. So yes, there's a bit of a struggle and a balancing act that has to go on. Yes, there's a lot of information we don't have just yet. It's coming, but it's things that we can't see completely. But again, in the middle of that, we have the sun. So there's light, there's positivity, there's strength, there's power in there. So again, it's just don't get stuck with these energies, because even these two energies can be seen as blocks. One, we're not moving forward because we don't have the info. One, we're like so focused on this goal that we can't see beyond it. You know, we can't even see the destruction we're causing, you know, by doing this. So definitely something to be aware of physically and spiritually. Mentally is where a lot of the work is, because that's where we're trying to consciously process all of this. You know, and you are such a practical sign. You're such a detail-oriented sign. You know, so it's a high possibility that you end up looking at every little tiny minute detail, trying to make it as perfect as we possibly can, which is a great thing and it's a great talent. This is not the time for that, though. Like, yes, you want to be laying the plan and finding those details, but we don't want to nitpick them to death, right? I would say the biggest thing is that you're using that to build an outline and kind of a skeleton for what this path looks like, and lean into the inspiration you have from, you know, this source that gives you an idea of what this could look like. And use that energy to find the feeling. Use that energy like, oh my God, what would that feel like for me to live this way? What would that feel like for me to be doing this work? Or to, you know, connecting in people in this way, or nurturing the world and my community in this way. What would that feel like? Use this internal journey with the Hangman to find what that feels like, because that's how you'll know you're on the right path. Once you know what that feels like, once you know what that vibration does to you, as you go through making these decisions, as you go through evolving along this path, the moments where you hit that feeling, that moment when you're like, oh, I like how this feels. This feels familiar. That's the indicator that you know you're doing the right work. That's how you know you're heading in the right direction. That's also what's going to pull you away from these two energies. If I like take this path and do it this way, this is how you know you've hit the right course. And again, it's funny because it was in the middle. So it's like here you hit that sweet spot where you have that feeling. Outside of that, when you lose that feeling, that'll tell you you're kind of swaying in a different direction. So once you know what that feels like, that's the compass. That's what tells you what direction to head in, which is exactly what you want. That's where you get your answers, right? Oh, Virgo. So lots of cool, good work for you. And again, this eclipse season looks like it's really about setting you in this new direction. But it's about fulfillment and serving your needs and feeling good about what you do. Feeling good about how you live. I keep looking at this Seeker of Flames and I keep seeing this fire like inside this like totem statue, which, if I'm honest, is a little ooky spooky. That's a little ooky spooky. But it's in this dark temple. It's in that, again, that internal journey. We're going through the darkness to find the light. Look, there it is. But I keep getting drawn to this image and just thinking about the emphasis on this nourishing you, this fueling your fire. If I make an example of this and talk about it in a work situation, this is about doing work that you're passionate about, doing work that feeds into you. Like in terms of money, this is like running your own business where you're making all the profit versus being the underling and doing all the dog labor, but the money is going to someone else. Like you do 100% of the work and only getting 10% of the reward. Whereas doing something that you're truly passionate and dedicated and aligned with, and it's serving you, you're doing 100% of the work and getting 100% of the reward. You know what I mean? And that's the payoff we want. What we're putting in, we want to get out of it. Because I almost want to argue that the path you're on now, you're putting in all the work because that's the type of person you are, Virgo, but the reward is going elsewhere. Or it's being split, and you're not getting, again, you're getting less than what you're putting in. And that's not cool, that's not fun, that's also super frustrating. You know what I mean? Like, that's not right. I'm going to leave that and let you kind of, ooh. You know what? I don't know what that is, but I really like that one. We're taking it. It jumped out and was sitting outside of the deck, and it wanted to. Oh my goodness. All right. So new moon in Capricorn. I want you to read what that says and think what we were just talking about. Your hard work is paying off. Yes. We were just talking about getting out what you put in. That's what it's about, baby. That is exactly what it's about. And this is work that you're already working on. And if you're not working on it, it's something you've definitely acknowledged. Like this inward journey has already begun. You've already been thinking about it. You've already been processing what this looks like and what this feels like. So again, I'm not telling you anything you didn't know. And if you didn't know it, now you do. Right? But I would say the next 30 days as we move through this eclipse season, this is really what this journey looks like for you. And this is what we're working towards. You getting your just rewards. And what's beautiful, here's the new moon in Capricorn. Our next full moon in July, guess what sign it's in? Capricorn. So our next lunar eclipse, so we have the solar eclipse, which is Cancer at the end of this month, and then lunar eclipse, the beginning of July in Capricorn. So it's a nice emotional reset. So again, we're figuring out what this feels like, right? Getting that emotional center balanced, and we want to align with what is our truest good. Beginning of next month, you get a full reset. So once you clear out the clutter, once you figured it out, then you just get this blotting out because of the lunar eclipse. So everything goes dark, and you get to come back fresh and new and reset and recharged. So no matter what this journey looks like, in about 30 days when we hit that next lunar eclipse, this is going to be done. This is going to be done. Now, it's going to be a much smoother ride if you can start the work now and do what you need to do. And then once it happens, you probably won't even notice what the eclipse effects are because you've already done it. You've set it up already. If you resist this, I mean, you'll have a fine 30 days, honestly. Once we get to that lunar eclipse, it's going to get even rockier because now you're going to be forced down this path where now you can start taking conscious steps towards it and make it a much smoother ride. Right? So definitely some things to think of, but good payoff at the end of this road. So beautiful eclipse season for you, Virgo. I'm excited for you. Can't wait to hear how this goes. But for now, I'm going to end your reading, sending you love, light. Continue to be safe amidst everything that's going on in our world, in our global community. Continue to vibe high, inspire others through what you do and how you carry yourself. That's how we're going to shift and heal our global community. So sending you love, take care, and I will see you in your next reading. Bye, Virgo.